This Lyft video is going to go through which rides to take and which rides to decline in order to maximize your revenue throughout the hour so you're not wasting time, which is costing you money. So I'm going to start with a little chatting, and then I'm going to go to actual screenshots of rides that were accepted and declined so you can see firsthand what we're doing. So enjoy.
Hi, this is Nancy again, here to teach you everything that I have learned about how to make money with Lyft. And the best way to make more money with Lyft is to choose your trips wisely. If you choose your trips incorrectly, you're going to waste a lot of revenue producing time. Your goal to maximize your income is to maximize every revenue producing minute that there is in the hours that you work. And there are a lot of ways to waste time where you're doing what in aviation is called non-revving, and you need to be careful of that. Time wasters are the big ones, are driving to a pickup and driving to a zone. Driving to a pickup, you can run into trouble taking trips that are too far away, or you can get into trouble going to zones that are too far away. And I did that at the beginning. They would bait me with bonus zones, and so I would drive to the bonus zone. And it would take me 20 minutes to get to the bonus zone. By the time I got to the bonus zone, the hour was basically over. So I'd wasted 20 minutes of my time driving to the bonus zone, and I'd make maybe 2 bonus rides. So bonuses are generally $4 to $6. So I'd make an extra $8 to $12. And I could have easily made that just by accepting every trip that was in my area. So bonus zones, you have to kind of watch out for them. The first trip is on expressways, and that's an important thing to look at, because if it takes you on an expressway that you were on earlier that day, or happen to drive over on a bridge and see what the traffic was, if the traffic is at a standstill today, you have a lot of time to choose which trip you want to take. It's on your phone, you can look it over, you can decide what you want to do. As you're taking add-on trips throughout the day, you only have 15 seconds to decide on a trip after that. And if you don't accept it within 15 seconds, it disappears and it's gone. So you have 15 seconds to decide if it's a good ride or not. So when you're looking at the ride that it serves to you or offers, glance at the map first thing and get a general idea where it wants to take you. A lot of the rides around where I am take me to the airport, but once I get to the airport, I generally have to non-rev back, and that's a lot of wasted time. If you get a $30 trip that takes you a half an hour, and you can back another $30 trip onto the other half an hour, you're doing $60 an hour, and that's okay. But if you do a $30 trip and you have to drive back non-rev without a passenger, which depending on the flights to the airport, you might not get one, or you might have to wait a half an hour, then you're making half the money. And that is a definite revenue killer. So another thing you want to look at in addition to the destination is whether or not it's going to take you. And you take a trip where you have to go on an expressway, you're going to be doing a lot of non-revving both ways. So you need to watch out for whether or not it's going to take you on an expressway, how long the expressway is going to be, whether there's side streets you can use to get to where you're going, or what you have to do. And the last thing, which is what you'll want to focus on when you only have 15 seconds to decide, is the time distance ratio of the pickup point to the revenue producing point. So that's what I have a number of screenshots about that we're going to go through, and I'm going to point out which trip is good, which trip you want to blow off. And when you blow one off, one of the last things that will decide whether or not you should blow off a trip is how busy you are. So if you're just going to be hanging out for 20 minutes anyway, you might as well take the trip, even if it's a long drive. But if you're getting fed one trip right after the other, just push the X and wait for the next trip and see what it shows you. That's the easiest way. So every minute that goes by that you are non-revving is wasting money. And every hour that goes by, if you're wasting $20 every hour that goes by, that's really going to cut into your profit.
Average wait times for a ride used to be something you could find on the app fairly easily. And this screen would come up, and it would be divided into grids in your local area. And it would say how many minutes it would take to find a ride. So if you drove into that zone, it would generally take about 1 minute for it to offer you a ride. This was a really handy feature. I've not been able to find it lately. I don't know if they discontinued it or what. But if you happen to be able to pull this up, it'll give you an idea of where to drive to get the shortest wait time, and that will help you too. Here's a ride that's been offered to us. It's not too bad. I'm familiar with the area, so going to Legacy Park Memorial Medical Center and picking somebody up and taking them over to Wallaton, that's not a bad ride. I could live with that. It's 9 minutes to get to the pickup, which is 2 miles, and it's 13 minutes to take the passenger, so that's 3 miles. So it's not a really long ride, but if it's the first ride of the day, you're not doing anything else, you might as well do it to get you in the swing of things. So on the right-hand side, the time of this thing is the screen where you accept the ride is a little hard to read, so I've moved it over to the right. Time and distance to ride is 9 minutes, 2 miles. Time and distance of the ride is 13 minutes, 3 miles. Distance ratio is 3 divided by 2 is 1.5, which is more than 1, so that's a thumbs up on that ride. We'll take it. This ride you're going to want to steer clear of unless you're really bored and really want to take a ride. You'll notice it's almost 20 minutes and 6 miles to get to the pickup point, which is in Sherwood, which is a cute little town. But then the drive, the ride, the revenue producing part is up in Portland, and it's 9 miles and 17 minutes. So you're driving 20 minutes for a 17-minute ride, and you're going 6 miles for a 9-mile ride. So the ratio is 1.5, and even though that's a little bit above 1, for some reason, you'll notice that the time has gone from 19 minutes to 17, which is less, but the miles have gone from 6 to 9, which is up. So this is kind of a suspicious trip. So I don't know if they factor traffic in here or what they've done, but I'd kind of steer clear of this one. There's no way I'm going to drive 20 minutes and 6 miles to pick up somebody for a ride. So I would blow this one off. This is another one you're really going to want to blow off. This one has you driving 7 minutes for a 4-minute ride. So you're going 3 miles to take somebody for 1 mile. So the distance ratio is 1 divided by 3, which is 0.334. So I would give that a big thumbs down. And this is the kind of ride that will really cost you money. That's almost 10 minutes of non-revving time for a 4-minute ride. So I would steer clear of this. This is just about the best ride that is offered in the little collection of rides I've had screenshots for. So this one, you only have to drive 11 minutes. You get a 21-minute ride. You're driving 5 miles to get a 16-mile ride. But you do have to be careful. You notice it has a note, drop off in busy area. So you have to kind of watch out for things like that a little bit. You don't want to drive at your local convention center when there's a trade show going on. You want to be a little careful of that. I hadn't really mentioned it before, but you want to be careful of things that are going to damage your car. And a lot of these rides put a lot of hard miles on your car, a lot of potholes, a lot of speed bumps. But you don't want to go into a really crowded area where you run the risk of hitting a pedestrian or hitting somebody on a bicycle or just getting a car door dinged into your car and causing damage. But in general, 5 miles for a 16-mile ride is not bad. This one I would be on the fence about, and it would depend on how busy I was. This is driving 2 miles to get a 2-mile ride. So you're wasting 50% of your time, 8 minutes for a 9-minute ride. So this kind of depends on whether you like the area it's taking to you, whether the area is going to take you to a more popular area where you can do better. Where the ride is taking you would probably be the determining factor. The distance ratio is 1, which is right on the fence. This is about the best that I get offered in this neck of the woods where I drive. It's a 2-minute, or rather a 2-mile ride for a 5-mile revenue producing segment. So the ratio is 2.5. That's not bad. And that's about the best that this area offers me. But one thing I wanted to point out, if you look right under the arrow on the left-hand side, this is a bonus ride. So you get a little bonus for taking it. So even if you're right on the fence about the ride, if you can pick up a little